Hi, I'm Katie Geiger, and perhaps you have watched some of the previous videos on YouTube, those ones about reading comprehension, getting ready for kindergarten, those ones about math and fine motor control, and I was reflecting on those videos and I thought they do a great job of telling you what to do and how to do it so that your child is ready for kindergarten. What they don't offer you, though, is the language to use during those activities that will support your child. So that's what this video is about. This video is about teaching you language that supports children so that they can manage themselves. Manage themselves as they are citizens of your home, contributing members of this home community, as well as citizens in school and citizens in the world at large. It starts when they're young. So what does that kind of noticing language look like? You've heard lots of people, especially coaches, say, good job, or that was awesome, or great, or super. I've used those words myself. You've probably used them. But those words are empty. They really don't have meaning for children. They don't tell children what they have done that was on the right track. They don't tell children what they have done that was super. So this language I'm going to tell you about is a noticing kind of language where we verbally notice the many, many times that our children are following instructions, that they are doing things correctly and on the right track. So to start off, I'm going to give some examples about what that would look like during some of those previous videos about comprehension and fine motor. And then also I'm going to show you some just everyday examples that you can use that language with. So for instance, if I was going to play this game where we roll the die, we take turns rolling the die and counting out the cubes or the squares that match the die, there are two things I want to think about. One is the social behavior of rolling the die so that it lands nearby rather than flinging it off the table. The other thing I'm going to notice during this is the cognitive behavior, the one-to-one matching from the dots to how many tile or objects that we take. So I have a pretend child with me. I'm going to pretend the child is rolling the die and counting things out, and then you're going to hear the language that I use. Here we go. I see that when you roll the die, it stayed right on the mat. It's very close by. That makes it easy to read. Your turn. So I'm pretending the child is giving me a turn, and now I'm going to notice what they did cognitively. I saw that you picked up the dice to get a closer look at it. You were counting how many dots were on it, and you counted out how many squares to match the dots. That's just the way we play the game. Yes, it is my turn. Noticing, noticing, noticing what I see, what I hear, so that they'll know whether it's the things that they say or how they say it, the things that they do and how they do them, that this is what helps us to have a good time playing this game. If I was going to use this same kind of language in terms of literacy, in this book, Zoo Looking with Mem Fox, what I'm going to be paying attention to is how they take care of the book. Whether it's the school library, my personal library at school, or your libraries, your books at home, we need to take good care of these resources for us. That will help us learn to take care of the resources of our world. So I'm going to pay attention to how careful they are when they turn the page. So again, there'll be a pretend child doing the action, and then you'll hear my language again. Here's what I'm going to be saying during that. I noticed that you were looking at the cover just like we talked about before, and then you used your thumb and your finger to turn the page. You turned that page slowly. I see how you're looking carefully at the pictures using two hands when you turn the pages. You are being gentle with the book. I'm not going to say good job. I'm not going to say I like the way you did that. I'm going to tell them what they did And then sometimes I hook that on with a quality like gentleness. Or in this book about Ask Mr. Bear, if I'm working on comprehension, this is written by Marjorie Flack. In this book, the little boy is asking these animals if they can help him get a present for his mother. So if I had read a couple pages, I would stop and ask, what kind of animals has the boy talked to already? And what kinds of things have they offered him? And the child might say something like, he talked to a chicken, and he talked to a goat, and he talked to a sheep. He gave him wool for a blanket, and eggs, and milk. Here's how I'm going to strengthen this child's comprehension. Yes, you remembered 3 of those animals so far, and you remembered some of the things that those animals offered him. So I'm starting with that word yes, and I am very carefully describing what the child did that was successful so that they can be successful again the next time. An example of this in the fine motor work would be this. This is that game where children are using the tack to punch holes in the shape. What kinds of things will I notice? It will sound like this. I see that you're holding the tack with the pincher, all 3 fingers, just like we talked about, and you are keeping the dangerous part down towards the paper, pointed down. I see you have one hand holding the paper down. I notice your eyes are looking right at the tack. I can even hear the tack as it goes in the paper. What could go wrong with a young child holding a tack? I have to think of that ahead of time so that I can address it and notice what they've done to help them become good citizens, good caregivers of the material, themselves, and me. I didn't get poked by it either. Then perhaps it's time to cut that shape out. What do I want to notice? What are the dangerous things about a scissors? What are the skills involved in cutting? Those are the things I'm going to notice. I see you put your thumb in the circle part and the rest of your fingers in the big long oval part, and you've got the thumb part up, and when you picked up the paper, you kept your thumb on the top. That's what we talked about. Now go ahead and cut that circle out. I see your eyes are watching the paper. You started from the side, you cut in, your arm is moving, so now you move the paper, cut, 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 turn the paper. You're doing everything that we practiced before. You are remembering. You remembered a lot. Whether children are in your home, whether in school or at the park, they need to practice citizenship, being a community member. When they keep themselves safe with the scissors, and me, as I sit next to them with the scissors, that's part of building that sense of citizenship and community. When they're being careful with materials, when they are taking care of resources. And every time you use this noticing language, you are building that up. So maybe you're thinking, well, what are some other times we can use this kind of language? Here's the good news. You can use this language anywhere you are with children. You can use it at any time. You can use it when they first wake up, when they go to bed, getting in the car. You can use it at the store, at the library. Anywhere you are, kids are doing positive things, and you can notice them. So, for instance, if I said, Becky, it's time to get in the car, we're going to the grocery, I'm going to be able to notice this. You got up as soon as I called your name, you're already getting your jacket on, and we're heading out to the car, we're ready to go. Or if we're in the grocery store, I'll be able to say something like, you are walking right next to me, that makes me feel safe, I know where you are. Or, you got the very cereal that we talked about getting before we left the house. Maybe it's cleanup time, getting ready for bed. I'm going to be able to go in and notice what kinds of things they have tidied up in their room. I see you've got the pillow back on the bed, you've picked up a couple of books, the tub with the cars has got a lot of cars in it. You are taking good care of your room. We're teaching responsibility when we tell them what they have done that is exactly right. that being a member of a community in your home, in school, and in the world. So what have you learned in this video? You have learned that noticing language can take a positive behavior and make it stronger so that it continues and is more available to them the next time they need that behavior. That's the first thing. The second thing you've learned are some phrases. I noticed, I saw, I heard you use kind words to your sister. All the things that are positive, you've got those phrases now to use with children. And you know you can use them anytime, anywhere. Now, changing your language is not an easy thing to do. When I first started changing my language, I put little notes to myself around up near the ceiling of the wall so I could look up and remember what I wanted to say, those first couple of words. So watch this video as often as you need to. It's here for you. It's here for you. You can do this because your kids are worth it. You can do this.